It began like any typical day, lunch break at my desk, phone in one hand, sandwich in the other. While scrolling through Instagram, I stopped dead in my tracks. My girlfriend, Natalie, had just posted something new. She stood beside my 2019 BMW M3, grinning as if she'd hit the jackpot. Dangling from her hand was my keychain, the one I used every morning. Her caption read, "Finally snagged my dream ride, hard work pays off." Hey readers, before we dive deeper, please hit that like button and follow for more stories like this. At first I thought she was joking, but the longer I looked, the more uneasy I felt. That car wasn't her dream, it was mine. I'd paid $52,000 in cash for it a year and a half ago with the title in my name, fully insured and registered. Natalie and I had been together for 2 years, sharing an apartment for the last 6 months. Lately, things had been rocky. She'd been pressing for a proposal, constantly talking about our empire and manifesting wealth. I wasn't ready for marriage, and she didn't take it well. Still, I never imagined this. Dread crept in, so I called the DMV. After a grueling 40-minute wait on hold, an agent picked up. "I need to check my vehicle's registration," I said, rattling off the VIN. The response made my heart sink. "The vehicle is registered to Natalie Winters," the agent said. My blood froze. "Since when?" I asked. "The transfer was processed last Monday, when I was away at a work conference." Natalie had claimed she was too ill to pick me up from the airport. She wasn't sick, she was busy stealing my car through paperwork. "I never signed any transfer," I protested, but the agent was clear. "We have signed documents, sir. If you suspect fraud, contact the police." I hung up and checked my bank app. The car was paid off, no loans, meaning she hadn't taken out a lien, but she'd forged the title. I went back to her Instagram, saving screenshots of everything, posts, comments, stories. She was at brunch with friends, laughing, my keys blatantly displayed on the table. In a story clip, she said, "You've got to rise up and cut out the dead weight." I filed a police report that afternoon. Detective Hayward took my case seriously, and I gave him everything. Purchase records, insurance documents, bank statements proving I'd paid for the car, and texts where Natalie asked to borrow it multiple times. Within days, he confirmed my suspicions. The transfer used a forged signature and a fake notary stamp she'd bought online. "This is felony forgery and grand theft auto," he said. "The car's value makes it a major charge." "What's next?" I asked. "We'll issue a BOLO for the vehicle. Once it's located, she'll be arrested." I kept quiet, not telling her family or our shared friends. I packed her things, stored them in the garage, and waited. She kept posting on social media, carefree, selfies, brunches, videos of her cruising in my car, blasting music. One caption read, "Surround yourself with those who cheer your victories." Her friends commented, "You earned this, queen," with heart emojis. The irony stung. They were cheering a crime. 2 days later, she texted me out of nowhere. "Hey babe, maybe we moved too fast. Can we talk?" I didn't reply. Then another, "I know you're upset, but we can fix this." And another, "Stop acting childish. Answer me." I forwarded every text to Detective Hayward. He advised me not to respond or alert her. The toughest part was seeing her mom comment on a car photo. "So proud of my girl, hustling and living her dreams." "Yeah, Diane, your daughter was driving a stolen car with forged documents, clueless about what was coming." 3 days later, Detective Hayward called. They'd found the car. "We're working with local units to arrest her," he said. I didn't ask for details, I just waited. Later, I learned how it unfolded. It was a Thursday afternoon. Natalie took 3 friends on a beach trip, blasting tunes, streaming Instagram lives, acting untouchable. Her friend Kelsey filmed from the passenger seat while the others sang in the back. 10 minutes into the drive, police lights flashed behind them. The live captured it all. "I wasn't even speeding," Natalie said, voice shaky. An officer approached. "License and registration." She handed over her license and the fake registration, confident. The officer glanced at it, then at her. "Ma'am, step out of the vehicle." "What? Why? I didn't do anything," she argued. "Ma'am, step out now." Her panic was audible as her friends filmed, shouting, "We're recording this, police harassment." Then came the bombshell. "Ma'am, you're under arrest for grand theft auto and felony forgery." Her scream was unreal. "This is my car, I have the registration." The officer was calm. "The registration you fraudulently obtained. The owner reported it stolen." And then the kicker. "Just because I broke up with him?" Natalie yelled, practically confessing on camera. Her friends lost it as she was cuffed on the roadside, sobbing hysterically while police towed my BMW. Kelsey's live cut off midstream, but not before thousands saw it. My phone blew up. Mutual friends, her family, everyone had seen the video. Her mom called 15 times. On the 16th, I picked up. "How could you have my daughter arrested over a car?" she shrieked. "She stole my car, Diane. She forged my signature, used a fake notary, and illegally transferred the title. She said you gave it to her. Then why did she text to borrow it after she owned it?" Diane hung up. Her friends messaged next. "You're sending her to jail over a car you didn't even drive?" One wrote. "I drive it daily. She stole it while I was on a work trip." Another said, "She's facing prison over a dumb car." "No, she's facing prison for theft and forgery," I shot back. Her friend Becca tried a gentler tactic. "She's really sorry." Sorry doesn't erase felonies. Detective Hayward updated me days later. Natalie was formally charged with grand theft, auto, forgery, and fraud. My car was returned, a bit dusty but undamaged. Standing in the impound lot, I smiled for the first time in weeks. It was mine again, not out of spite, but because justice prevailed. "Can't you drop the charges?" she texted via her mom. I reminded myself this wasn't a breakup spat, it was a felony case. 2 weeks post-arrest, Natalie made bail. Her parents put up $15,000, but the court set strict rules. No contact with me, no driving my car. She broke them almost instantly when her new boyfriend, Landon, called me from her phone, pleading to let it go, as if I controlled the state's case. I recorded it, reported it to Hayward, and her bail was revoked that night. Her parents panicked. A new bail hearing set it at $25,000, with a judge warning that further violations meant jail until trial. Meanwhile, Natalie tried spinning the story online, posting about financial abuse and claiming people would understand her side. But the evidence was ironclad. Texts asking to borrow the car post-transfer, screenshots of her flaunting it, bank records proving I paid in full. Her mom, Diane, showed up at my door begging me to say I'd given permission. I refused to lie under oath. She accused me of ruining their family. I threatened to call the police and she left. The moral pressure failed and Natalie's legal troubles deepened. At the preliminary hearing, the evidence was devastating. A handwriting expert called the forged signature sloppy and mismatched. Forensics tied the notary stamp to an online purchase. The prosecutor presented Natalie's laptop searches. How to forge a signature, penalties for fake car title. Can you go to jail for taking boyfriend's car? Proof she planned it. Kelsey, her front seat videographer, turned when faced with conspiracy charges, handing over DMs and texts that implicated the group. With those messages in evidence, the defense's relationship misunderstanding argument crumbled. The judge found enough for a trial and set dates, signaling no easy out. Natalie cried, her mom wailed, her dad sat silent. Outside, Landon confronted me, yelling I'd ruined her life over a car. Security escorted him out, banning him from the courthouse. He later caused more violations by contacting me via Natalie's phone, tightening her restraining orders. Her lawyer, seeing the stacked case, pushed a plea deal to avoid trial risks. Natalie pleaded guilty to reduced charges. Grand theft auto, downgraded, plus forgery and fraud counts with serious penalties. The judge balanced punishment and rehabilitation. A suspended 6-month jail term, time served if she complied, 3 years probation, a $5,000 fine, $8,500 in restitution for my legal fees, and 200 hours of community service. The felony record hit hard. Jobs vanished, apartments rejected her, and her MLM side hustle dropped her due to the conviction. After sentencing, her dad called, apologetic, admitting they'd failed her upbringing and offering to cover my legal fees, which I accepted to close the criminal matter. Socially, the fallout continued. A Free Natalie group called it a gendered injustice. Influencers debated if it was a breakup dispute or a real crime. The prosecutor used her Instagram posts as evidence of intent and audacity. I got my car back, paid impound fees via insurance, and upgraded security with a GPS tracker. Steering lock and kill switched to prevent future thefts. Kelsey now works at a call center, rides the bus, and posts vague motivational quotes that feel like deflections. Natalie served a brief stint, got out early for good behavior, and moved in with her parents, rebuilding under the weight of a felony record. This taught me tough lessons about boundaries, how entitlement can slide into crime, and how social media can be both evidence and a weapon. I stayed focused on facts, records, and the legal process, avoiding drama. In the end, the law held her accountable for stealing $52,000 in property and flaunting it for clout. What do you think of this story? Share your thoughts below, hit like, and follow for more real-life tales.